Hello, and welcome to the 19th BOH Cameronian Arts Awards on set. My name is Miriam, and joining me today are the nominees for Best Choreographer in a Feature-Length Work in Dance. Let's begin with a very simple question. How has the work changed you, changed your life, but in particular your relationship with your body?
I'm thinking of Jen's show because what I'm about to say when you say that is I feel like I'm hearing cues from my body more. I'm more aware of it. I hear it earlier than later. For example, in the past, I might hear it when I'm already gone past my capacity, but now I'm more in tune with, oh, actually, I would like to rest now, or actually, I need a break now, or actually, I don't have to do more now. So that's, yeah.
So recognizing before you get to that part where you're like, oh my gosh, I'm done.
Yes.
Nice, thank you. We'll circle back to
Okay.
that question as well. January, Kenny?
I think doing psychosynthesis has allowed me to engage my body in a way that is much more scientific, and as well as it's allowed me to really study the anatomy of my personal body, and recognizing very much like what Rensin just mentioned, how listening and being aware that when we take breaks and when we continue to push forward, I'm looking at the prospect of how much can I push the body to a point where it is almost at the edge of a breaking. And I was quite interested in seeing how the body moves in tremendous unnatural way. A lot of contemporary dancers tends to want to pursue a more pedestrian aesthetic, but I was going the opposite direction for psychosynthesis. I want it to be highly physical. I want it to be extremely pulled and pressed and pushed to the maximum in order to find that that mental breaking point, but not break it.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think that was my interest, because inspired by the lockdown, that's what I think most of us felt, which is the mental breaking point, but yet we are not breaking. We are still in this quote-unquote cocoon of safety, but at the same time, we are struggling mentally. Yeah. So for me, I think it's just that juxtaposition of how to listen to the body, but we push it to the maximum. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to dive into that again, because you're like, I'm going to push you to the max, but then we're not going to go there. We're not going to... We're going there, but we're not going to... Yeah. I'll be interested to dive into that a little bit more later on. What about you?
My show was actually a response and a question for myself and also for many artists as to what was lost during the lockdown and who were we or where our art stood post-lockdown, coming out from it. How can we heal? How can we move forward? And what then is this like essence or the importance of the arts? You know, I think a lot of us question the what's the word?
Value.
The value or the whether it was as essential.
Yeah.
You know, I think that was my inner conflict as well. You know, because just the day in day out, you know, cooking, looking after the kids, looking after the household became the essential over the past 2-3 years. And then my question was, where exactly is my art now, and why is it still important to me? So doing the work actually built back a lot of trust in my body as well, to listen to my ideas and to realize them once again, and to bring the practice back into the body. So that's what happened. And I think, I put myself in a very vulnerable space, and just honoring that, I think.
For Anggota 2.0, voice was a crucial part of your work. How did you know that you wanted to explore that element of voice, and how was that process like for you?
I think from the first Anggota, After excavating certain patterns that I carried in my body and my embodiment and my patterns, I realized that a lot of things I was at peace with, or I understand and I want to take action going forward. And I found that something that was still quite blocked is my voice. And I felt, and I think this is repeated a lot of times, but I did feel like, oh, voice is a part of my body. It comes from my body. But why is it that as someone who always say, I'm so in tune with my body, but I can't use this part of my body? And I felt it had a lot to do with, it was like the door for me to go through to own back my own journey going forward. So I used to have a lot of blockage with speaking. So just now, for example, the first question, and I said, I'll go first, is something that surprised myself. Like it was always like, I'll be at the back and wait until everyone has spoken. Yeah, so.
Thank you. And was there a sense of catharsis?
I think in the slow, long-term journey, not like in a day or in the show.
So, and are you still feeling that? Are you still having moments of that?
I think I'm still practicing it, whether in teaching, in social setting, how I show up and notice what wants to come through me and giving voice on that. So it's still an ongoing journey, but very fulfilling and inspiring to back to myself every time I notice, oh, this shifted.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Going on that sort of topic of catharsis, I'm interested to see if that was there for you, Kenny. What I meant earlier was you go to the edge of that mental breaking point, but you made a decision not to break it, not to allow it to break. What was the kind of negotiation that happened there?
Oh, that's a really good question. Oh, wow. I think working in tandem with the dancers, I want to begin this conversation by saying amazing congratulations to January and Rensing, because the full length that you guys did were on your own body. You know, psychosynthesis, we had the opportunity to work with a troupe of dancers, and actually the conversation and the collaboration that comes is really not solely on my body, on my understanding of what the lockdown is or what psychosynthesis stands for, but it's really a collaboration with the dancers. So in that sense, it's really understanding what their body can do and also have an empathy of understanding, almost like a kinesthetic language of knowing when the dancer is about to break, when the dancer is about to be pulled to a point where they possibly might not be able to actually execute this movement, or they might not be able to actually feel comfortable dancing in this movement. We always like to be at the edge, even for audience. I think as a choreographer, we think of how far can we extend our art, extend our practice, but not to a point where it absolutely, at least for me, not to a point where it changes my stylistic approach of what I think defines the work or what I think represents me. And knowing that is very important in the process of making a sense of catharsis. Catharsis.
Yeah.
It's really, it comes from the risk of I am about to do it, I am jumping off, but I'm not jumping off. Yes. It's that edge, it's that constant edging that the dancers and I were negotiating, the constant push of each other. Can you do that? No, but I can do this instead. I'm going to try this way of moving. I'm going to try this lengthening of the body, this pulling of the body, this entanglement of the body movement, and recognizing that it's not easy, but they managed to do it in the end. I think that it's the also the trust of psychosynthesis, the sense of hope, the sense of ultimately it is difficult to get the piece together, but I'm able to do it. You know, bringing through that journey of breaking, about to break, breaking, about to break, breaking, about to break, but actually I came out of it.
Yeah.
Just like how our lockdown is, right?
Yeah.
when are we stopping? When do we go? When do we stop? When do we go? Are we locked down again? Are we stuck again? Another 30 days, another one year, another 2 days, another 3 days. We don't know when it stops. Ultimately, we came out of it. And I think that it's the reflection of what I mean by actually really stretching the mind and the body to its extent, because the process of making the piece spans across the lockdowns, 3 years actually, and then dancers go through on and off, rehearsal, we stop, lockdown, rehearsal, we stop, and not just the body is being pulled and stretched, the mind is being pulled and stretched as well. And the beauty of it all is that at the end of it, we did come out with hope. We did come out with a sense of achievement, And I think, for me, that's that moment of realization that, we really pushed.
Yeah.
We really pushed, but not to a point where we jump off the cliff and, totally just
let go
and be like, I'm done.
Yeah.
but we
Yes.
keep aging forward. Yeah.
Thank you for that. There's such a universal message as well that we can get through it. Just keep going it, but also listening and knowing when to.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Seems to be a nice conversation there.
Exactly.
And January, just reflecting on your work as well, because it was all you, a full-length theatre work on you, and this beautiful journey, I think, of questioning, actually, why do I dance? And is it relevant? Is it necessary? Is it important anymore?
Yeah.
Have you found that answer? Are you still negotiating it?
I think dance just so happens to be my medium and what I need. It's essential for me. I wouldn't impose this that dance, everybody must dance or everybody needs to dance. I think we need to create a more supportive ecosystem to appreciate, to learn, to teach, to watch, because everybody supports everyone, Dance is ultimately essential for me, just so that I can be a better person. It's my release, it's where I ask my questions. It has taught me how to articulate. It's taught me who I really am. It's quite deep. The relationship has become very deep for me, and I think life has also made me a better dancer, a better artist as well, being a wife, being a mom, has actually added a lot of value and different nuances to how I look at things, how I receive things, how I choose to express myself. I hope that answered the question.
That does. Incredible. Yeah, that's amazing. We're just going to go back to that question again. Just, the thought of how you being a wife and a mother has maybe changed the way or influenced the way you express yourself.
It's given me a lot of clarity as to why I need to do it. Because I don't really have the luxury of time, so I'm very mindful and deliberate and conscious with how I use my time.
Yes.
Decisions that I make, the work that I do, when I have to travel, so all these decisions then become a lot more heavy because leaving the household, leaving the kids in the care of another, unstabling the stability of the household, is not the most fun. It's very stressful for everybody.
Yes.
But it is a great exercise in agency as well for myself, because I keep having to choose myself.
Yeah.
So that has what has come out of it, So it's no longer a high that I'm chasing. It used to be this high, this performance high that I used to chase and chase and chase. I think we all know what that is. But now it's become something that is necessary and has also become lessons for my kids. To see determination, perseverance, grit, discipline. They keep asking me every day. They ask me if I'm preparing for a show. Why do I need to practice? Every day. And I said, because I just need to be ready. You know,
Yes.
I don't have anything right now.
Yeah.
But the practice brings me that joy, you know. So coming back, so that when I'm asking them to practice their music or practice their singing or whatever it is, you know, I am also,
You are
You're
also, yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and to show that we never stop learning, we're never you never really reach, you know. You need to keep
Yes. Keep at it. Keep working on
at
it.
it,
Yes.
and
yes.
don't ever be comfortable. I think
Yes.
being comfortable for me is a huge fear. I don't want to be comfortable.
I really appreciate you modeling choosing yourself in front of your kids. Because like if we all saw our mothers choosing themselves. wow.
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. You just opened up a whole conversation there. Wow.
Yeah,
And I try to model this not just for my kids but for other moms.
Yeah.
You know, because I feel that in everything that I do, in everything that I say, I am also speaking to my inner child or my, you know, so it's this process of healing,
Reconciliation
unlearning,
and all-
exactly.
yep,
And also just, you know, letting moms out there know that, I mean, you need to get into the habit of choosing yourself, you know, because you can't wait. You can't wait until they go off to uni. You can't wait until they're old enough. You know, you need to start now. You know, because it builds up a lot of resentment. It builds up, you know, emotional baggage that will then be passed on to their kids and
Yep.
their kids' kids, and it's this perpetual cycle of
Of
this
trauma,
you know,
and
trauma
everything.
exactly,
Which affects the body as well.
exactly. So it's a
Yeah.
whole circle. So I'm trying
Yeah.
to just put a stop to that.
Beautiful.
I'm a single man, you know, listening to this just kind of gives me an awareness that it's really a big sacrifice for women who has trained so many years of their life, and once they got into a marriage, quote unquote, they have to let it go. But it's not the fact, it's not the truth, it's not the only way. You can still be practicing, you can still be an active practitioner in your art form or whatever it is,
Whatever
you
it
know,
is, yeah.
whatever that is. And I think it's just amazing to hear that. Yeah, full support.
Yes, and we love men who support that as well. Like, yes, we need more people like that. Thank you so much for your vulnerability, for your courage to put yourself out there in the works and exploring, you know, the mind and what is breaking points, the voice, and also why we do arts. Thank you so much for putting out there. And congratulations once again on your nominations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.